Time is the ultimate critic. What looked like a miracle 20 years ago, today, it looks like a memory. Some games, they didn't just survive time. They defied it. What if the secret to forever was never about looking real? What if it was about looking true? Let's explore 5 that cracked the code. Not with better hardware, but with better vision. They called it Zelda, an insult, a dismissal. After a dark, realistic tech demo, Miyamoto and Aonuma dared to give us a living cartoon. A world of endless, vibrant blue. But that wasn't a compromise. That was the plan. The cell shading, those bold black outlines, they weren't just a style. They were a shield against time itself. While other games chased the gritty texture of the era, Wind Waker said no. It painted its light in clean, deliberate bands. It made the sun a character, the sea a rolling canvas. It turned technical limitation, the GameCube's struggling light sources, into a law of its own world. You don't update a painting. You preserve it. And 2 decades later, sailing into that scarlet sunset still feels infinite. It was a gamble that taught us everything. A strong enough vision makes nostalgia irrelevant. If Wind Waker is a shout of joy, this is a hell breath. Team ICO's masterpiece isn't just played, it's breathed. Look at its world. Not at the polygons, but at the space between them. The hazy, desaturated fog that swallows the horizon. The painterly bloom that turns sunlight into a dusty memory. Ueda didn't see the PS2's fuzzy textures as a flaw. He saw them as atmosphere, as grief made visible. He used vertex coloring to bake shadows into the very bones of the land. He used the console's weaknesses to create a world that feels perpetually lost. A forgotten myth. You aren't fighting blocky monsters. You're climbing monuments in a dream that's fading. And in that emptiness, you find a loneliness that HD remasters can't erase, only amplify. It asks us, what if timelessness isn't about clarity, but about feeling? Some games have an art style. Okami is an art style. It is the medium itself. Clover Studio didn't render a world. They unfurled one. Every tree, every rock, every creature is born from a Sumie ink wash. The grayscale gradients, the brushstroke edges, this wasn't an aesthetic choice. It was the point. It was how you interacted with the world by painting it back to life. While other PS2 games strained for realism and now look waxy and strained, Okami's commitment to looking like a moving Hokusai scroll freed it. The hardware limitations vanished into the watercolor. It's not pretending to be reality. It's presenting a higher one, a myth. And myths don't have resolution. They have truth. It whispers, don't imitate the world. Create a new one with its own rules. Before was cool, it was cool. Smilebit's Dreamcast Riot didn't just use cell shading, it weaponized it. This was anti-realism as an act of rebellion. The thick black outlines, the flat, saturated colors, the impossibly fluid skaters, it captured the vibration of a Tokyo street, the smell of spray paint, the bass thump of a hidden track. It rejected the muddy texture, future head-on. It was a visual middle finger, a cartoon captured in a moment of pure, kinetic energy. It wasn't trying to be forever. It was trying to be now. And in doing so, it became forever. That specific, Frozen in Amber Cool never thought. It defined a genre by refusing to belong to one. It screams, timelessness can be born from a moment, if the moment is true enough. Michel Ancel's gem is different. It's not abstract or painterly. It feels lived in. It draws from European comic books, the Ligne Claire of Hergé, and uses it to build a world of breathtaking warmth and subtle dread. Ubisoft Montpellier built Hillis not as a tech showcase, but as a home. The cinematic framing, the expressive, caricatured faces of Jade and her friends, the way light spills into a dusty bar. It prioritized intimacy over spectacle. It used color and shadow to tell you how to feel about a place, not just how to see it. While its contemporaries' attempts at realistic brown palettes now look dated and dull, Beyond Good and Evil's directed, heartfelt vision pulses with life. It didn't chase the Hollywood look. It crafted its own soul. It proves authenticity outlasts spectacle. Every single time. So what's the secret they all share? It's not a technical trick. It's a philosophy. The six-console generation, the PS2, the GameCube, the Dreamcast, was a sweet spot. A moment suspended between the birth of 3D and the exhausting chase for photorealism. Developers had just enough power to dream, but not enough to get lazy. They couldn't rely on raw horsepower to wow us. They had to rely on ideas. They had to choose a vision and commit. Cielșadint, sumie painterliaze, graphic novel lines. They used the hardware's constraints not as walls, but as a frame, and they painted a masterpiece inside it. Today, we chase teraflops and ray-traced reflections. The gains are smaller, the cost is astronomical. We're in an age of diminishing returns, and these 20-year-old games sit there quietly asking their question. What are you chasing? Fidelity or feeling? The blocky polygons of the past are charming. The hyper-realistic faces of 5 years ago are often unsettling. But these? Wind Waker's ocean, Shadow's melancholy, Okami's brushstroke, they exist outside of time. Because they never try to capture our world. They built their own. And a perfect world, no matter how stylized, never ages. It just is. Maybe the most timeless graphic of all is a good idea.